Happy birthday to you. Remember, every day is your birthday. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. How are you doing today? Happy Wednesday. Yay, we're having a good day today. It's slightly warmer, but still quite cold, still quite chilly. Yes, we have an interesting topic today, although I may not fill the time. However, I'm going to start with, and actually we only have two people whose birthday it is today. Very unusual, that, isn't it? Amongst my friends anyway. It's usually about 5 or 6 at least every day. Yeah, we are going to talk about self-love and judgment and stuff coming up in a minute, so look forward to enjoying that until I get some viewers on board. So at the moment I'm still talking to my replay viewers, so tell me #replay if you're in my replay viewers, and you'll let me know that you're watching the recording of this. That'd be great. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, every day is your birthday. Why wait until... Sorry, no, that was a terrible one, wasn't it? Why wait to start living a life you love? Why not start today? Possibly tomorrow, but we'll come back to that. Excuse me. Tickly cough. Still there, isn't it? Okay, happy birthdays to start off with too. Alison Curtis, who is a utility warehouse person. He had two utility warehouse people yesterday and one utility warehouse person today. And a guy called Stephen B. Henry. I'm going to give a B there because I am John V. Denley, of course. John V as in victory. V for victory. Not V for Victor. That's not my middle name. Stephen B. Henry over in the US, who is a WordPress guy. So hello Adele again. Have a problem with the website. If you go to johnvdenley.com/morning on a desktop machine, it doesn't work. They've updated the plugin and it doesn't work. It works on a mobile though, weirdly. Even if you put the mobile into desktop mode, it still works. But on an actual desktop, for some reason, it doesn't work. Don't know why. Very strange. At least on my desktop it doesn't work anyway. But there you go. Anyway, hello Stephen. Happy birthday to you when you get to see this, because you live in Kansas City Chiefs were Super Bowl champions last year. Buffalo Bills going to win this year though. Doing very well so far. Okay, that's all from me for now. No, that's all from me on the birthday front, at least anyway. Okay, going to get into the topic of the day. Oh, one more thing before we go, because it's not relevant to the topic of conversation, so I may as well get it out of the way there. Today's a Blinkist book of the day. Very, very interesting. It is called 9 Lives, and it is about an Al-Qaeda, a British spy inside Al-Qaeda, but actually it was a guy who was inside Al-Qaeda and then got disillusioned with what they were doing with killing civilians and so forth, and the way they were going about things and the way they were picking and choosing bits of the Quran to empower their jihadists to fight battles and so forth. And so he came over to England, joined MI6, and then went back over to work against Al-Qaeda, but was not aware of 9/11, which was interesting. That came just as much as a shock to him. He was in, I think, London or Oxford when he heard about the attacks. So it just redoubled his efforts and made him want to go back there and do more work. But of course, he then got found out, and now he's living in hiding. So just an interesting story, well worth listening to. Cool. Right, self-love, judgments, and so forth. Are you judging yourself? And are you judging other people? Remember before we talked about this little cup. This is the sort of like the unconscious part of our brains, and then the subconscious level is on top of it, and then of course we've got a conscious level on top of that as well. And how this unconscious level gets filled up with all these rules and stuff from our childhood, from our parents, from our teachers, and so forth, from our environment. Al-Qaeda, there you go. Growing up in a certain environment can lead you down a certain path. You remember how your parents always used to say, don't hang out with the wrong kind of kids. Well, there you go. There's proof evidence that can happen if you do hang around with the wrong people. There's a lady over there playing with their 2 children, so if their 2 children want to come up here and play around here, I'm going to have to move a little bit, but I've already warned her. And she's okay with it. So that's cool. Then we can have these things, but of course if we can understand why one person thinks one way and why we think another way, well, actually there you go. Just goes to show, doesn't it, that Al-Qaeda thing actually can have relevance to what we're talking about here. I could judge him for being an Al-Qaeda person and hating the West and so forth when he was in his early days, but then he was hating people who were attacking Muslims, and when he came over and recruited people from the UK, he discovered that a lot of the UK Muslims who were going back over to fight freedom fighters. Hello, Zarina, how are you? Were going over there because they were feeling racism in the UK. Zarina's a very old friend of mine. So hello. I don't think you've ever been on my lives before. That's kind of put me off a little bit now. Anyway, so but you can judge other people just because of the beliefs that they have and the beliefs that you have and so forth. And then when they come in clash, it doesn't help matters at all. But when you can understand why you've become the way you've become, we've talked about this before, and why they've become the way they've become. Hello, Jill. How you doing as well? Then we can be much more compassionate and understanding about the other person over there, and we can kind of come together. And as I did before, it kind of said, if you can look over to theirs and they can look over to yours, then eventually you can come together and create love between the two people. Even if you don't necessarily believe in their beliefs and so forth, and don't agree with their beliefs, you can understand each other, and therefore you can start to love each other more. So that's where that judgment comes from. So are you judging other people, or are you judging yourself? And when the book I'm reading at the moment, which is linked in the comments below as well, Loveability, is also talks about thanks, Serena, talks about self-love. So I just got to the chapter. I've just done a self-love monologue this morning, so I did 10 minutes talking to myself about self-love and what I thought about it and so forth, and discovered that I look for external love. So I'm looking for other people to tell me that they love me, in order for me to feel loved and to love myself, which is just something I've got to go through at the moment, and I need to learn to love myself more without external validation. And I imagine that if I'm having to do that, then there are other people out there who need to do the same thing, and they need to learn to love themselves a bit more as well. He also talked about how we are love. We as a whole being are love, and when we love ourselves, then we free ourselves from this judgment as well, which I thought was a really kind of cool concept as well, of ourselves. We're judging, we become free of loving. When we start loving ourselves more, we free ourselves from judging ourselves for not being the people that we feel like we ought to be. Sorry about that. Thank you, Adele. Appreciate that very much. She said she loves me, so that's cool. So we can free ourselves of judgment if we love ourselves more and love who we are and how we became the person we are. And of course, the moment we start recognizing where we came from and what these subconscious beliefs are and these unconscious beliefs are, and we can start breaking through. Remember, I've talked before about how you've got your heart down here. If you imagine this is your head, with the top half the conscious beliefs, and this is the bottom half the unconscious, and then the subconscious is like habits and so forth sitting on top of it, and then we've got our heart down here, and we can connect our heart up through our unconscious beliefs and into our head, and we can connect our mind and our heart. Then we can create much more love internally. I'm running out of time, I just realized as well. So yeah, anyway, so that was kind of, I just loved that whole concept of when you understand yourself more, you can love yourself more, you can judge yourself less, and when you can judge yourself less and understand yourself more, then you can understand other people more, and then you can love people more. So yeah, that's how that kind of whole circle works. And you can also enjoy being yourself more. When you love yourself more, you can enjoy being yourself more, and you can recognize the good inside you, which is fantastic. I know Adele and Jill and Zarina, all three of you have been watching this morning. You're all very nice people, very good people, and I'm very blessed to have had all of you in my life. So thank you all, and I love you all. I'll say it specifically because you're on the call. I love you, Jill. I love you, Zarina, and I love you, Adele. There you go. And I'm fairly open about saying that I love people as well. And I think there's a bit of a societal thing going on here that saying you love somebody means more than it actually really does. Obviously it can mean more as well, but I think there's very much a resistance to saying to somebody you love them, because it has this sort of stigma about, oh, now I'm in love with you and now I'm committed to you for the rest of my life kind of thing. There are different kinds of loves though, aren't there? So we can share lots of different kinds of loves with each other, and spread that love throughout the world. And of course, if we loved the people in Al-Qaeda more and loved Muslims and Muslim brothers and sisters a bit more, they wouldn't want to fight us and kill us so much, which would be a much better thing for the whole world, wouldn't it? Anyway, so that's all. I was going to talk more about the habits and so forth, but hopefully I'll touch on that tomorrow, because I've run out of time for today. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely Wednesday. Love you all. Mwah. Spread love into the world. Remember, every day is your birthday, and start today the way you mean to go on, and start loving your life again. Take care, everybody. Take care. Have a lovely Wednesday. Bye for now. See you tomorrow. Love you all.